Hi, welcome back to another Spinato Spin. So glad to have you here. 70 days into the summer, just about done here. 20 days left. Feels like fall where we are at. Not sure how it feels to you. Want to talk to you about something that maybe, if you just understand what I'm about to say, and you've heard it a million times, maybe this might be it. It might trip the switch and get you to change the way you think about things. I want to talk tonight a little about the brain. How powerful is our brain? What do the humans have over the animals that a lot of us don't even use, don't even express? You see, if we look at the brain, the power of the brain, it's unbelievable. They say maybe we use 5%, 10% of our actual power that it has. That's just unbelievable. You call that the tip of the iceberg, call it whatever you want, but the brain is so powerful, we have no idea how much more we can get out of it. We just don't even understand it. There's stuff we just don't know what we don't know. Like a child, right? A child doesn't know what it doesn't know. Well, let's look at it this way. If we look at our lives, we look at what goes on, how does the brain really work? Well, you know one thing that struck me, and I heard this, and I read this, and I saw this. Do you know that a heat-seeking missile got its ideas and its whole functionality from the way our mind works? See, our minds are so powerful. There's one thing about it that a lot of people don't understand. If you gain control of just a portion of it, just a small portion of it, you could change your life. If you can learn, and they say one of the best ways to judge how successful a person is whether or not they use their mind to the right extent, for the right things, for what they really want. You see that I've said this a million times. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Well, that's how the mind works. You see, when you've got something in your mind that you want to get, and you develop the focus, the absolute pure focus of what you want, and you're specific, and you know exactly what it is. You say to yourself, by December 31st, I want to earn $1,500 doing a certain activity. You specify exactly what that activity is, you specify how much money it is, and you specify when you want to achieve it. Now your mind has something to dwell on, okay? It has a direction. But the problem is, and a lot of people don't understand this fully, if you don't keep thinking that way and you don't stay focused that way, it'll only be a wish. It will not turn into a burning desire, something that gets deep into your subconscious. That's the power of the mind. The power of the mind is right there for you. All you have to do is access it. Clarify the picture. Make it crystal clear. Believe that you're going to do it. Visualize it. Put yourself in that exact moment when you achieve the goal. How do you think people do things? How do you think an Olympic athlete is able to do whatever they have to do over a 4-year period of time? They rehearse it over and over and over and over until they now know without a doubt they can accomplish what they're after. And they prepare themselves for that moment. Well, you're preparing yourself for that moment when you start thinking this way. When you zero in on exactly what you want, when you want, and how you're going to get it. That's the power of the mind. Those are the things we're looking for. First you visualize. Then you make yourself, what's that other thing we have up there? The other picture. There you go. Then you understand what your determination's all about. See, determination is doing what needs to be done when you don't feel like doing it. See, the magic of it is even if you don't feel like doing exactly what I said, you do it every day, over and over and over. You see, you start off with a nice thin little cable that connects what you want to do. And then all of a sudden you go back and forth and you strengthen the cable and you make it stronger and stronger until it's an unbreakable cable. It can't be broken. Your mind is so affixed to what you want, You can't be beat. You won't be beat. That's what you got to do with your mind. You got to use every ounce of it that you possibly can. You got to understand there's a difference between the people, the animals in the jungle and animals out there, and you. You have a choice. You can decide to create something in your mind. Another thing about your mind, it can't tell the difference between what's real and fake. Whatever's imagined in your mind. You develop the picture. You crystallize it. You make that picture clear and concise where you can actually almost feel like you can touch it. One instance I heard, which is a tremendous idea. Did you ever go to IMAX theaters, big theaters, and you see yourself, and all of a sudden you see yourself on an IMAX theater. You see it as clearly and vivid and big and bright as you possibly can. That's your future. That's what you're going for. See, you got to develop a compelling future. You got to develop a future that takes you where you want to go, pulls you like a magnet to where you want to be. I got one more picture up there to keep us occupied. And yeah, it's time. It's time to take a stand. You put it down. You tell yourself what you want. And no retreat. We've heard the story about the boats, right? You want to take an island? How do you take an island? You burn the boats. You say there's no way we're getting off this island until we defeat our enemy and we take their boats. We take control of it. We're here. They're gone. That's what you do. You make your mind up that this habit, this force, this thing that you want so bad will not be defeated, will not stop you. You will get what you want. Believe in it, achieve it, and that's what it comes down to. We got one more, I think, here. And there we go. The vision. That's the eagle. That's the American eagle. That's why it's our symbol. Because you have vision. The eyes are the biggest thing in the eagle. You got to have a vision, a laser-like focus, a determination that does not stop until you reach the goal. Remember I told you about the mind, heat-seeking missile. Once it gets knocked off its course, it gets right back on its course. I heard one phrase, very important. I'll let you go with this. There's such a thing as a staging post, which means there's a spot where you have to fix yourself and get yourself all geared up for the next part of your trip and the next part of your journey. It's called a staging post. Well, obstacles are a staging post to where you want to go. You just look at the obstacle, decide how you're going to beat it, and keep going. You know, failure, look at another one too. Failure is fertilizer. And fertilizer is not to be rolled in, and it's not something that you got to just stay in. You just sprinkle it on the ground, and it helps grow your garden. And it helps get you over the weeds. And it helps you develop as an individual. Remember, failure is fertilizer. And Winston Churchill also said this. He said, failure is never fatal, and success is never final. Keep charging. The will of the person is more important than the actual deed. Keep charging and make yourself have a great summer. And thanks so much for listening to Spinato Spin. We'll catch you next week. Have a great week, everybody.